Before we take a single step further in this video, I just want to say I usually avoid politics. I've got a new series on my channel called Internet Law, where I cover different stories happening online and in the world, and most of the time, they're usually just a bit of fun. I mean, our most recent one was a Microsoft AI that wanted to f*** the people using it. Like, it's usually not that serious. But, every now and again, there is a story that does come up that I do feel there is a need to shed some light on. If you've been on TikTok recently, you've probably noticed a few very emotive videos, usually focusing on the possible death and destruction of our Antarctic life, including penguins, polar bears, and the goddamn seal. I obviously can't play the music for obvious copyright reasons, but I can sing for you. What about me? What about me? What about me and you together? Something that could really last forever. What about me? If that didn't make you cry, you have no heart. Anyways, the topic of these videos is a way to start generating conversation around the Willow Project. The Willow Project is a oil mining operation which is being headed by ConocoPhillips in Alaska, America. The goal of the project is to harvest Alaska's really high abundance of oil, with hopefully estimating 180,000 barrels of oil per day at the project's peak. Now, as you can see, this project is stated to have a lot of positives to it. Not only is it giving a supply to the demand of increased oil, but also it is going to bring in billions of revenue, not just for Alaska, but the American economy as a whole, and also is going to create over 2,500 construction jobs and 300 permanent jobs. These last two are obvious benefits. Obviously, I think it's hard to debate bringing money to an economy and also creating jobs for people that need them. Like, it's hard to say that that's a bad thing. Now, I don't think I should be surprising anyone here by saying that a project of this level is going to have some negative effects on the environment and climate change, which is one of the main reasons that people are fighting against it. This article here highlights some of the main reasons that the oil project shouldn't go ahead, and the very first reason is literally that the project is a climate disaster in waiting. You see, once the Willow Project is underway, it has been estimated that it is going to be producing 287 million metric tons of carbon dioxide over the next 30 years of its lifespan. For anyone curious, that is the equivalent of 76 coal power plants pumping at the same time, which again is going to have major consequences for the Antarctic life, which is already suffering greatly at the hands of climate change. Now, it is worth mentioning that this project is very, very close to be getting let through. There's really only one last step, and that is Joe Biden, the current president of America, approving it himself. In the next few weeks, Joe Biden is going to be making the decision if he's going to say yes or no to the project, and if he does say yes, the project will start immediately. Now, of course, there is still a chance to change it. That is why you are seeing a lot of these TikTok videos everywhere. Lots of people are trying to raise more awareness around the situation to get people to try and get their say and voice in before it all goes to shit. Now, look, I would say I'm more inclined with the environmental activists on this one. It is worth mentioning that I am Australian, so my say on the American economy really doesn't matter. However, this project is going to help contribute to climate change, which is an issue which affects everyone. So obviously take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, because obviously I'm going to be more inclined to look at the negative environmental factors than the positive economic factors. Don't get me wrong, like I said, I see the positives in creating more jobs and boosting the economy. Like, those are good things. If there's a way they can do that without harming the environment, much better. But for me personally, and for a lot of other young people, right now the environment is taking center stage. And I think one of the good things here is that Joe Biden himself also seems to care a lot about climate change. When Joe Biden did get elected, one of the main things he was focusing on was helping to reduce climate change, and that by 2030, greenhouse gas emissions by America would be down 50 to 52% than what it currently is. Not only does this help the environment for obvious reasons, but it also can help create American jobs and support American workers. I feel like one of the main things that's usually holding renewable energy sources back is that to get them operational and to get them to a stage where they are effective enough to be relied on by a large scale, it requires a lot of money and a lot of sacrifices, which, by the way, has been a large conversation in Australia. Australia has a lot of miners. Minecraft miners, not children miners. I just want to make that really clear because it came out of my mouth and it felt wrong. Anyways, Australia has a lot of miners and fucking hell. Australia has a lot of people that mine stuff, so to focus on new renewable energy is taking away jobs from them, which has been a conversation going on for ages because people don't want to risk the chance of them having no job and would rather keep the ones they currently have, even if it does mean causing future issues for the environment. I feel like the same sort of thing is applying here. Short term, I feel like people are more inclined to stick with greenhouse gases because at least it's something we know works, instead of taking the risk and the time to possibly have a more effective thing in the future. To a lot of people, it's not worth the risk, and that's fair enough. But if you are someone that doesn't agree with the Willow Project and does want to see it not come to life, there is one thing you can do, and that is use your voice. I know it sucks and it feels like there's not a lot people can do, but there is petitions out there. Change.org is looking for 1 million signatures and they're only 300,000 away. I know it sucks because it feels like this really is out of our hands, but really the only thing we can do at a time like this is use our voice to try and convince the people in power to not let this come to light. Again, he's not my president, but I've got some hope in Sleepy Joe. But yeah, that's really all about it for the Willow Project. I just want to use this as a chance to hopefully educate some people on why this is being talked about so much. In my research and through the many sometimes contradictory statistics that we've seen from both sides, this is the conclusion that I've chosen, and it may not be the one you've chosen. That's fine. I can't tell you how to think, and I don't expect you to think the same as me. What about me? What about me?